when we moved in, these live oaks were here. At the base grew, what were they?
Some type of blackberry.
Boysenberries, blackberries, wild blackberries grew all around the base of these trees.
And being the smart kids that we are, the intelligent kids that we are, we would just pick them and eat them and not really concern ourselves with whether or not they were poisonous.
Poisonous or dirty.
Who cares? Yeah.
Also,
what doesn't kill you will only make you stronger.
They stopped growing after a while, and then we learned that you're supposed to leave a couple so they will regenerate, and if you pick them clean, they won't. So they will stop making berries. So we did ourselves in.
Oh, the chili plants. Are they still over here?
Probably.
Chili pickings.
Chili pickings, they're all over.
Lots of chili plants
and certain wild animals we have seen.
Bunny rabbits.
Kingfishers and bunny rabbits and
possums.
Possums. And owls, gray foxes, coyotes, and believe it or not, we saw something that we don't know what it is. We called it pig dog. And I think the first person, we're not sure, we think maybe our cousins, our uncle's boy, our cousin, might have been the first to see it, because he came in one day talking about a wolf. He was very small, but that could have been a coyote. But one day I was down at the creek. I was pregnant with Owen at the time, with my eldest, and I saw a creature who looked kind of like a pig, kind of like a dog. He was sort of flesh-colored and hairless. Kind of looked like he had the hide of a pig, kind of pinkish, flesh-colored, and he had the triangular ears and a kind of a snout, but the body was built like a dog with the long legs, and he moved like a dog. And his snout was not black. It was the same color as the rest of him, and he looked really odd. He didn't look ferocious, but also I didn't want to approach him, and it freaked me out, and I just froze and watched him. And after a while he kind of stood up and trotted off that way, which is very built up now, but that's the way the creek flows, and disappeared. And I went up to the house and told everyone I'd seen something, and it was kind of like a pig dog. And they promptly made fun of me and didn't believe me. For years they didn't believe me.
For years.
And then,
are you on dope?
Well, I was pregnant, and I've been known to have an imagination, but I swear I saw it. And then my parents saw him. Years later, my parents saw Pig Dog. He would come and he would lie out here. And now, mind you, several of the cats that used to roam around here, gradually they died off or were picked off and disappeared, and people had pets disappear. It could have been the coyotes, could have been the predatory birds, could have been the foxes, but it also could have been this thing. So they would see it, and
I saw it a couple of years ago.
Yes.
I saw it right there in that spot, around there.
Right here.
Because there's always brush growing, and just exactly what you said. A couple of years ago, about 2.5 years ago, and the kids were out at the creek throwing rocks in the water, and it was time for them to come in, and I thought I'd give you a little break and go and fetch the kids. And I heard some movement, and I started actually talking, okay, come on out, and instead of the kids, it turned out to be the pig dog. It was exactly like you described it, and it just kind of stopped what it was doing and looked at me, and then just walked the opposite way. And then when the kids, when Owen and Renee started running towards me and, you know, calling out and talking, once it heard the kids, it rushed off even quicker than that.
But they didn't see him, did they?
No, they didn't see it. And I saw it briefly. It was partially covered by the brush, but I definitely saw it. And I was sober. I mean, and then I made the connection between that and what you said you had seen, and what Red had seen. So this was something, it was sort of a combination of a dog, and I worked with a tapir at the zoo. If you've ever seen a tapir, it looked like a tapir, and a dog, especially the hairless, I don't know, it's hard to describe. It's hard to describe. But there have been several pig dog sightings. Even the animal control from the city has come out. And
first they thought we were nuts.
Yeah.
They came out once, and by the time they arrived, he had disappeared. But then...
And with their, you know, Barney Fife mentality, they just grab a big old net and come rushing out here and expect to catch it. Well, of course, they never will. But they saw it, as a matter of fact, Daddy said it was just kind of sitting and lounging at the base of this tree, and they were watching it from the sunroom. And at that point, Daddy was, see?
And they looked at it through the binoculars.
Indicated.
And my mom said, so what is it? And one of them said, I don't know, and handed the binoculars to the other animal control officer, and that person looked and said, I don't know either. So thankfully we're not the crazy family that...
Well, we are.
Well, we are kind of nutty.
We're a crazy family that has a strange creature living somewhere close by. And neighbors have seen it too.